We have covered the work of Max Ehrmann in episode 575. Today we will cover his 1901 A Fearsome Riddle. A judge, a doctor, and Max Ehrmann walk into a room to talk about Dr. Robinson's pet peeve going on about the crime fiction writers commit by not being exclusively and rigorously realistic in everything they write. Judge Nutt then shows them a blue notebook, a hypodermic needle, and a half-empty bottle of chloroform. He lets them read the notebook going on about the mathematic principle of life, and then tells them of his friendship with Professor William Whitmore of the University of Virginia, a man in his 40s, fully immersed in his figures, and only ever spending time with his black manservant Blanchard. He nevertheless befriends Judge Nutt despite their infrequent meetings. In December of 1885, the judge wants to go see Whitmore as he hadn't seen him for a while, but Blanchard does not let him go inside. Going to the train station to meet his friend Dr. Skelton, the two suddenly see Blanchard and Whitmore walking near a church, with Blanchard remonstrating with Whitmore passionately about something. Skelton recounts how he had once spent the night at the same hotel as Whitmore, and witnessed what seemed to be the professor having beaten Blanchard. Coming into his office, the judge finds a note from Whitmore, which is a will leaving everything he owns to Blanchard. Forcing his way to meet the professor, Whitmore insists that he can only see him after December 25th. Puzzled, the judge returns home, and soon after he is informed by the widow of the late university president Thompson that, despite her husband being one of Whitmore's few friends, the professor was not a pallbearer at his funeral as requested and did not even bother to attend. At the hotel he finds Professor Whitmore had not breakfasted there since September 30th, lunched since October 30th, and dined since November 29th. Then following Christmas, Whitmore is found dead and an angry mob is looking to lynch Blanchard, whom they suspect of murder. They find out he had bought morphine at a distant pharmacy where he wasn't known, and was seen to inquire about railway prices, while his and the doctor's things were found packed up, so you can understand the suspicion. The body shows signs of frequent injections by morphine, but he is suspected of being killed by chloroform. Sometime later, Whitmore's one-armed Confederate brother Walden shows up, challenges the will, and goes back south with all his brother's money. Sometime later, President Thompson's widow sends Nutt a letter Whitmore had sent to her husband, talking about how for the last few days of the time rhythm had become established in him. No word is heard of Blanchard until an acquaintance of Nutt's randomly runs across him on Walden Whitmore's plantation, where he is busy writing down his testimony and being considered crazy by everyone around him. Then a few days later he is found dead, lying on top of some graves in the cemetery. His written account is delivered to the judge, which explains Whitmore's conflict with his brother who went to fight for the South in the war according to their father's wish, which nearly ruined the family. Whitmore, who is very attached to Blanchard, begins travelling from university to university, experimenting with animals and the perception of time until coming to Terre Haute, Indiana. Here he has Blanchard awaking him later and later every day, keeping him asleep by the use of morphine, till he wakes very late in the afternoon, sleeping nearly all day. His idea is that by sleeping 10 minutes later every single day, until the time when he should instinctively wake up and go to sleep would be identical, he should sleep forever unless awakened by someone else. Only when Blanchard goes to wake him up he is dead.